The captivating and personal story of Link in Ocarina of Time is one of profound tragedy, steeped in themes of sacrifice, growth, and the heavy toll that time takes on the individual, with the journey of its protagonist, Link, deeply intertwined with loss, sacrifice, and a battle against an inevitable fate. It is a classic tale of the hero's journey. At its heart, Ocarina of Time is not just the story of a hero defeating a villain, but about navigating a world that constantly shifts around him, one that forces him to grow and mature in ways he never expected. It's a tale of a boy who becomes a hero, and in the process, loses much of his innocence and childhood. Let's take a quick dive into the tale. Link begins his journey in Kokiri Forest, a land of eternal childhood, where each Kokiri child has a fairy. But Link is different. He doesn't have a fairy. This small detail sets him apart from the start, suggesting that he's meant for something more than the carefree life the other children lead. His connection to the forest is tenuous, and even the great Deku Tree, the protector of the forest, seems to know that Link has a greater purpose. This theme of isolation and difference marks the beginning of Link's journey, one that will see him grow not only physically, but emotionally, moving away from the innocence of childhood. When the great Deku Tree sends Link on his first quest to free the tree from the curse placed upon it, Link faces his first real test. He journeys into the Deku Tree's interior and fights Queen Goma, a monstrous arachnid. This battle symbolizes the first step toward his transformation, as Link learns the value of bravery and cunning. The Deku Tree's death is also a loss, a reminder that everything in this world is temporary and subject to change, including Link's own journey. The encounter with the tree's dying words reinforces that Link's destiny is far greater than the peaceful life he could have had. Leaving Kokiri Forest, Link enters Hyrule Field, a vast open expanse that represents the wider world awaiting him. Here, Link first encounters Princess Zelda, who reveals the sinister intentions of Ganondorf, the dark sorcerer from the desert. Zelda's fears mark the shift from personal adventure to world-altering stakes. Link now knows that his journey is not just about saving his home, but protecting the entire land of Hyrule from the encroaching darkness. This moment is one of revelation for Link. He is no longer a child, but a hero tasked with stopping an evil force from taking over Hyrule. As Zelda warns him, Link's quest is just beginning, and the path ahead is fraught with challenges. The first major temple on Link's journey is the Dodongo's Cavern, home to the fire-breathing King Dodongo. Here, Link confronts a massive dinosaur-like creature, but the real challenge lies in the cavern's puzzles and the fiery traps set throughout its corridors. This dungeon represents Link's growing awareness of the dangers that lie ahead and the beginning of his understanding that the world is not as simple as he once thought. He must now think carefully about the dangers around him, using his new arsenal of tools like bombs to open passages and solve complex environmental puzzles. The King Dodongo fight itself is a test of Link's patience and precision, a clear contrast to the carefree days of his Kokiri childhood. After securing the first spiritual stone, Link sets off for the next temple, the inside Jabu Jabu's belly, which is located in the heart of Zora's domain. The dungeon is filled with water-themed puzzles and creatures, challenging Link to think creatively about the environment around him. Inside Jabu Jabu's belly, Link faces not just physical enemies, but also a sense of surrealism and otherworldliness. This dungeon represents a deepening of Link's awareness of the world's complexities, and it's also a place of inner transformation. Here, Link not only frees Princess Ruto, but begins to understand the weight of his role as the hero of time. Symbolically, water represents the subconscious mind, and by overcoming the trials within the belly of Jabu Jabu, Link metaphorically dives into the deeper layers of his own mind, embracing his growing responsibility. Once Link collects the spiritual stones, he enters the Temple of Time, where the Master Sword lies dormant. The Master Sword is an iconic symbol of power and heroism within the Zelda series, but here it also represents Link's ultimate transformation. When Link pulls the sword from its pedestal, he is thrust 7 years into the future. This moment is one of the greatest tragedies of Link's journey. The childhood he knew is lost in an instant. Time has moved on, and in that blink of an eye, Link's life changes forever. He now faces a world filled with despair, under the reign of Ganondorf, and there's no turning back. The symbolism of this moment is striking. Link, the eternal child, is forced to grow up and take responsibility for the fate of Hyrule. Upon awakening as an adult, Link finds himself in a world vastly different from the one he once knew. Hyrule Castle Town is in ruins, and the once peaceful world is now a place of constant danger. The weight of time and the cost of his absence are evident everywhere. But even more striking is the sense of loss that pervades the land. When Link revisits Kokiri Forest, he finds that his childhood friend Saria has become one of the 7 sages, leaving behind her childhood identity. This is a poignant moment in the game, a realization that Link's journey has irrevocably separated him from the people he once knew. The very idea of childhood innocence is slipping away as he moves forward on his quest. The first dungeon Link faces in this adult form is the Forest Temple. Here, in the haunted woods, Link confronts the phantom of his own memories and fears. The dungeon's design, filled with eerie, ghostly enemies and puzzles that seem to play on Link's deepest anxieties, reflects the internal struggle that Link is undergoing. He is no longer a child, and the deeper themes of death and rebirth come to the forefront in this temple. The battle against Phantom Ganon is symbolic of Link's confrontation with the darkness within himself. In defeating this phantom, Link is not only progressing on his quest, but also acknowledging the psychological burden that being a hero brings. Next, Link travels to the Fire Temple, which is located deep within the volcanic mountain of Death Mountain. This dungeon is an assault on the senses. Its molten lava pits, fiery traps, and intense atmosphere are designed to test Link's resolve. The symbolism here is clear. Fire represents purification, destruction, and rebirth. Link must navigate through the harsh environment, facing off against the imprisoned Gorons and the fiery creature Volvagia. In defeating Volvagia, Link not only purges the Temple of Evil, but also purges his own doubts and uncertainties, cementing his role as the hero of time. The Water Temple, located at Lake Hylia, is perhaps the most difficult and emotionally taxing dungeon in Ocarina of Time. The constant shift in water levels, the tricky puzzles, and the oppressive atmosphere make this temple one of the hardest in the game. Symbolically, water represents the unconscious mind emotions, thoughts, and memories that are often hidden beneath the surface. Link must dive deep into the temple's depths, both physically and mentally, to confront his growing fears and responsibilities. The battle against Morpha, a monstrous creature of water, is a reflection of Link's internal struggle. He must confront his own emotional turmoil in order to move forward and continue his mission. The Shadow Temple, located in Kakariko Village, delves into the darker aspects of Link's psyche. This dungeon is filled with spirits, ghosts, and ominous imagery that evoke a sense of dread. The Shadow Temple represents the past, the things that cannot be undone, and the choices that must be made. The fight against Bongo Bongo, a disembodied grotesque creature, symbolizes Link's final confrontation with his own fears and regrets. In this temple, Link confronts not just physical enemies, but also the emotional weight of his journey. As Link reaches Ganondorf's castle, the final dungeon in the game, the culmination of his journey comes to a head. The castle itself is a manifestation of all the trials Link has faced, the twisted corridors, and the final battle against Ganondorf and his evil form, Ganon mirror Link's growth throughout the game. The Triforce, the ancient symbol of power, wisdom, and courage, becomes the ultimate symbol of Link's destiny. By defeating Ganondorf and claiming the Triforce of Courage, Link fulfills his role as the hero of time, but at a great personal cost. The final moments of Ocarina of Time are perhaps the most tragic. After defeating Ganondorf and restoring peace to Hyrule, Link is sent back in time to his childhood. But in doing so, he loses everything he gained as an adult: the relationships, the wisdom, and the strength that came from his journey. The world is saved, but Link is left as a child once again, forced to relive the years he has lost. In a poignant farewell, Link says goodbye to Princess Zelda and Navi, knowing that his journey has irrevocably changed him. Ultimately, Ocarina of Time is a tragic tale about the passage of time, the sacrifices made, the lost innocence, and the inescapable responsibilities that come with growth. For Link, the price of heroism is steep, and even in victory, there is profound loss. The world may be saved, but Link's journey is one of personal transformation and the heavy burden of fate. If you enjoyed this dive into the tale of the Ocarina of Time, be sure to like and share the video. And if you don't want to miss the next upcoming saga in Link's journey, be sure to subscribe to Nautical Awakenings. The next deep dive into Link and the Legend of Zelda is coming soon. Peace, love, and harmony to all.